Hi guys, it's Kara. Today I'm just doing my literal everyday makeup. So if you want to see how to get this sort of look, just keep on watching. Also, I'm kind of a hot mess throughout the whole thing. This is my first video, well, I guess my second video technically. I did one probably 2 years ago, and I feel a little bit awkward, although I'm getting a little bit better, but you'll see for yourself. It is what it is. I am who I am. I've had people ask me on Instagram if I would ever do tutorials, which is incredibly flattering, but also, sure, I'm happy to, if you don't mind my rambling mess that I am here on this video. So what I thought I'd do today, I'm going to try, so I've got the viewfinder, don't have a mirror, so we'll see what we can do, but I figured I would just do my actual legit sort of everyday makeup. For those who don't know me, I'm a mom of two. I've got a 5-year-old daughter and a 4-month-old baby, so time is of the essence, excuse me, in the mornings. So I typically wash my face the night before, and in the morning sometimes I'll splash water on it, but honestly not so often. So I put moisturizer on when I go to bed, but in the morning I like to spray this Too Cool for School coconut milk mist. It just is a nice little facial mist. It smells like coconut, and I find that it is nice and moisturizing. I wouldn't really say that it's a primer. It's not marketed as that. It's just sort of to revive my skin after the night. And then I do go in with the primer. So this is just a sample size. Oh, I'm doing the actual YouTube hand up behind the product thing. Huh. The Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer in the Radiance version, iteration, shade, I don't know. Anyways, I really like this one. It does appear tinted when it comes out, like it's got a little bit of a shade to it, but I wouldn't really say that it's tinted once it's applied and once it's blended in. But because I don't tend to wear foundation on a daily basis, because I just frankly don't have time for that, I like this because it adds just like a hint of luminosity to my skin to help sort of make me look a little bit more rested than I ever am. If I was doing full-on makeup, I would put on like a color correcting, because I have really dark shadows, I always have, and also sleep deprived because 4-month-old. But most mornings I don't have time for that. So I use the Infallible Pro Glow Concealer from L'Oreal. And again, I really like this one because once it is sort of sheared out over my face, it just adds, again, just a little bit of radiance. It's not like super full coverage, but it doesn't cake up on me. I find it covers just enough, keeps my skin looking sort of natural, because because I'm not wearing foundation, if I had like super matte under eyes with that sort of glowy primer, it would look a little weird, so I just kind of keep everything in the same sort of tonal family, if that's how we can say it. I don't know, that's what I'm gonna say anyways. And then this is the little Sephora, I don't know what it is, Pro Mini Flawless Airbrush brush that we got this year if you hit the VIP status, or VIB Rouge status. I have kind of gripes about that, I have to say, because if you hit that status, basically you spend a crap ton of money and you get a mini brush. I just don't think that that's an appropriate perk when you spend an assload of money. Anyways, then I set it. This is Maybelline Fit Me powder. It is on its last legs. Yay! Oh, there we go. Pan. I've been working on it forever. I should probably repress it, but I don't have time for that. And when I do have time, it's pretty low on my priority list. And then I usually just do my eyes after that. So I do use a MAC paint pot in soft ochre. I feel like everybody and their sister uses these. If it's not soft ochre, it's painterly, which is slightly more pinkish undertoned, but I'm a bit more neutral, leading to yellow, so this one works really well because it matches my skin tone. In days gone by, I would actually use a brush to apply it and sort of buff it all in, but here we are, post-baby, finger it is. And I just kind of pat it. Because sort of work smart, not hard, has become my daily mantra. I usually set sort of the crease-ish area of that, just in case I am going to do some blending, but today, because I know what I'm going to be putting on my lid, I kind of just leave that a little bit tacky. And when I'm setting it right now, I'm just using a shade from the Tartist Pro To Go palette. And then, I heart this from ColourPop. And I do. I really do heart this. It is like a silvery taupey kind of deal. I just do like one little there, full pigment. Ooh, see? No, okay, so now I see why everybody does that, because it really does work. Ew, what's all of my finger? Okay. Don't judge, I'm really not dirty. But there we go, there it is. And then again, I just kind of pat it on my lids. These shadows actually work best when applied with your fingers. They do have matte shades as well. I find them not hard to work with, but I prefer the shimmery ones. But this, I heart this, and then there's another shade called So Quiche that is beautiful as well. It's got sort of like multicolored shimmer in it, and it's more of a brownish sort of base, but it also works as a great one and done sort of shadow. And that's basically eyeshadow done. I do sometimes go in and just add a little bit into the crease, so I'll go back in and I'll either grab Drive or this sort of more warmish brown shade called Crisp. Just for today's purposes, I'm just going to use Drive. And I just kind of blend the edges of the I Heart This shadow. On days when I'm feeling particularly fancy, in today's new reality for myself, I'll go in with a Sigma E36 blending. I'll take that same Drive shade and just put a little bit on the lower lash line. See if I can do this without doing my typical like mouth gaping open sort of face. I'm always amazed that YouTubers can apply like mascara and stuff without making that face, that horrific screenshot worthy face. Alright, so moving along, like I said, I'm not going to do eyeliner today. Sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. Liner, and then I apply mascara, L'Oreal Lash Paradise. I love this. It reminds me of the Marc Jacobs one that I have. I have a Velvet Noir sample because like 40 bucks on mascara is just no. And the brushes look similar, the formula is similar. I find this one actually smudges less than the other. And they give the same effect, sort of that bright, sort of voluminous, lengthening false eyelash look without having to go to the extreme of false eyelashes, which I love. So again, I'm going to try to do this without stabbing myself in the face. I like my eyeballs without stuff in them. And by stuff I mean a giant ass mascara wand. So I just find it funny when I post pictures where I have like this kind of eyeshadow going on and people comment about like, how did you do that? I literally took my fingers. I'm glad that it looks good. I really am. But that's why I kind of wanted to film this, because seriously, anybody can do this look. It's really simple. Anyways, and then I go in and do face powders. So I have a bronzer that I think I've had for way longer than I should admit to, like 7 years. Like it's probably a basis for biological warfare at this point, but it's almost done, if that makes it any less disgusting. You can see I'm almost done it there. I've way hit pan. I've repressed this a gajillion times, and I can't be bothered to repress it anymore because she's almost done. It's not really a contour shade, but really I'm just kind of trying to warm up, not really carve out cheekbones or anything like that. And then I like to pretend that this erases a chin. Yeah. I mean, call a spade a spade. I have more than one chin. I like to just go in with the Milani Baked Blush in the shade Luminoso. It's just like a really easygoing peach. It's not too strong. It's got a bit of like a sheen to it without being glittery. And I just really like it because it adds a little bit of warmth. Keeps with that whole sort of radiant, healthy skin look, while still just giving a little bit of life back into my face without being overpowering. Anyways, I like the mesh one. It gives me some peace of mind is basically the bottom line of that particular story. Because he does sleep with his face pressed to it, and I think if it wasn't mesh, I would be horrified. And you can't move him, because as soon as you move him over, either he wakes up or he just like wiggles himself back into position. That's where he wants to be, is crammed into the corner of his crib. It's really kind of funny. Apparently things got a little too hot for my camera, so it had to turn itself off and cool down for a little bit. Anyways, the stage I was at was with the highlighter. It's the Stila Heaven's Hue highlighter in the shade Kitten. I like to apply a little of that to the inner corners of my eyes. And again, trying to combat some of that darkness that's around there that just is a dead giveaway for how tired I usually am. And then lipstick. That's always the funnest. Going in with one of the Lancome Juicy Shakers. This is one of the original in the shade Piece of Cake, not one of their matte versions, which I also really like, but for this kind of look, the sheer glossy version really works. This is what the applicator looks like if you haven't seen them before. The product just kind of wells up in here, comes on here, so it doesn't get gloopy or anything like that, which I really like, and then just kind of dab it on the lips. The nice thing with this, it just kind of deepens up, like you can see between natural and sort of with the product. It's just sort of a My Lips but better, but if you're not super precise with it, nobody's really going to know unless you're like all over the place, but then you have other problems. And then to set it all off, I just use the NYX Dewy Finishing Spray. I have a few finishing sprays that I sort of rotate through, but I like this one. I don't know that it really makes me dewy per se. I think the products themselves do that. But it doesn't sting my eyes, it doesn't smell, it doesn't make my skin feel kind of tacky. There are some that I just really don't like. The Wet n Wild one, the little photo, it's a little white bottle, Studio Photo, I don't know what it's called. Anyways, that one stings my eyes, so like after I spray I have to really fan myself before I can open my eyes or else it'll sting. That's the finished look. I can maybe zoom in or just lean in for the eyeball. But it's just super easy. Here, there. Oh, focus, focus. So it's just glittery. It looks a little bit more professional than having nothing on there. Skin looks healthy, sort of glowy without being over the top. And I just feel a little bit more put together. So at any rate, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys. Okay, so when I turn like the recording on, it bumps my face closer, and then I don't know how to zoom it, de-zoom, zoom out. There's the terminology.